In this task 3A limbo lesson, we're going to look at the clavinet part. Now I feel that this is up for some debate. It could be a clavinet, it could also be some kind of drawbar organ, it could also be a Rhodes piano or something like that. I think maybe the drawbar would also be a good option for this one, but you know, I'll leave that up to you. The sound that we've got is okay. I think it still needs a bit more developed, but we'll go into that. Let's just look at a couple of parts that I've found. Now, as you can see here, these notes are written as quaver, but what I've found is actually the notes are really short, especially in the second one. It's just kind of shorter than it's written here, so just be very aware of that and just kind of make your own opinions up on whether you feel that should be shorter or longer. The next part is this part here, and I found that I've had to automate some of the reverb sounds and some of the volume sounds just to kind of pull this out of the mix, okay? So just be very aware that this part does lift ever so slightly and this part is quite a bit lower in the mix. So let's just come over to our clavinet sound. Let me just bring up the piano roll here. So as you can see, I've actually shortened this second note by almost half, and I've just used the piano roll just to edit that, and it's quite low in the mix. And then I've used the velocity tool to kind of bring these up so that kind of when it gets that part, it really punches through, and it also gives it a bit more spatial awareness. The other thing that I've done is done some nice automation. So as you can see here, this is for send 1, which is my big reverb Prince Hall 1 sound. Which is this one here, and you see it's automated, so it's the reverb's quite low in here, and then it becomes overpowering towards the high notes. And I've done that throughout. You may agree with that, you may not agree with that. That's up to you. I think, like I said in the previous lesson, there's actually a lot of reverb. There's a lot of delay on this mix, and you're going to have to control that reverb and delay to get the texture that you want. Okay. So that's what I've done. That's the bulk of it. The only other thing I've added to the Clav sound is this rotary speaker. It's an electric piano rotary, and I've just tweaked a few dials, nothing too major here, but I did want it to kind of get more of that kind of drawbar or Rhodes kind of sound out of it, so that's why I've added this cabinet. The built-in Clav for Logic, you can adjust some of these settings. I've had a little play around with the brightness of the sound and the pickup positions, and just had a little play around with the dampener. I'll share that. Once again, the first one is automated, and then we've just got this tape delay. So there's my Space Designer, which is automated, and here's my tape delay. And this is the same one that we used in previous lessons, I believe. And it's slightly panned off to the left. So without further ado, let's just play theirs, and then we'll play mine first, because the first bit is quite sunk. So let's just play that. And you can hear that bright reverb coming. Let me just bring up the automation track so you can see that happen at the same time. So let's go over to theirs and see what you think. Okay, and let's put mine in the mix so you can get a better idea for how mine's sitting in the mix. So it's not too bad. Once again, you may agree with the instrument I've used here, or you may think, actually, I'm gonna try a different option. It's not too bad. It sits fairly low in the mix, and we can come over to the volume. There's no automation on this, but you can see that I've just brought it down just below 0 dB. And as we go through, we will need to kind of check this out and kind of change it based on the dynamics of the piece. But we'll look at that in the mixing section. That's pretty much all I have to say about this instrument. So get this part in, and I'll see you in the next lesson.